Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the tubular teacher herself, Sandy Reevy.
I get that. Scrolling around.
It is episode 317, week of August 19th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we have a big week ahead, starting off with Monday, August 19th, Venus square Jupiter.
Where's the greener grass?
And Venus opposing Saturn retrograde.
Unworthy.
Sun square Uranus.
Separate yourself.
Full moon in Aquarius.
Lean to the side.
Jupiter square Saturn retrograde.
1 of 3.
And Thursday, August 22nd, Sun ingress Virgo.
Make the most.
And Venus square Mars.
Not on board.
Then Friday, August 23rd, Mercury retrograde sextile Mars.
Rethink direction.
Then in Talisman times, we have 2 upcoming Talismans, re-announcing the August Talisman, as well as on the horizon, we have some dates for you. And in our house, I have a wonderful meditation to get you organized for this Virgo season. Stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you.
Hello, tubular teacher.
I had a dream. All my dreams or visions are, I manifested this. So I had this idea and I thought, how can I make that work? And I did some research and I made it work.
Right? And here they are right in front of my eyes.
And this is for the Egypt retreat. Oh my God, that's so coming alive. Talk about going into the Egyptians go into the duat, right? Into the underworld to come up 70 days later, which is the entire time a king gets mummified. And yet that's the same time a fixed star goes down over the horizon, sets to die, and takes 70 days to come back up and be born again. Same time that the Egyptian pharaohs and kings took them to be mummified. And then they were
synchronistic.
Well, it's all planned, right? It's like they knew the sky. I am like diving into this. Seriously, we have 1 space left. I'm happy I almost sold out. This is like amazing work. I'm working with a mentor to do the Egyptian astrology, which is different than the Western.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo, doggy. So
and
tubular Sandy or whatever you call it.
Tubular teacher.
Tubular teacher is fitting in a tube.
All right. So hello and thank you everybody for listening in to our podcast. You may notice that my throat is a little bit scratchy. That's just a residual type of sore throat that I've been battling between for the last few weeks. But anyway, everything is feeling much better. And I apologize if I'm a little bit more raspy than usual. It is the week of August 19th. And I wanted to first go direct to all of you listeners and say this message was from H. I had, just like anybody else, I send out an email after their reading saying, hey, do you have any feedback? How was it? H says, it was great. I so appreciated that Sandy was able to tailor the session to my huge time crunch. I also can't wait to work with her again. Thank you so much.
Ooh, H. Okay.
So, of course, if you are interested in a reading, if you want to go on one of our retreats, if you are ready for a talisman, any of those things, we are here to help you. So just email us, Alex or Sandy at intentionbeads.com.
Or go on to the website.
Or head over to the website.
I want to say, pause here for a second, because we are heading out soon. Right. And so that basically the sanctuary will be closed for any sales or shipping talismans. So if there's something that you've been needing or wanting or needing a gift,
get that in before September 10th.
Yeah, get that in the next couple weeks, 2 weeks, please. Otherwise, there will be no shipping until
end of October.
End of October. And likewise as well, if you're looking for a reading, I had someone text me this morning and saying, "Oh, I need to get in a reading before this date." And I thought, "Oh gosh, you got to get on fast because I'm very limited when I'm on retreat. I don't.
Right.
I'm
You're
closed. I'm
dedicated,
closed for reading business." But there are some spots still open before I leave. And while I'm gone, I am opening after retreat, in between retreats, since I'm staying there between Greece and Egypt. I'm staying on one of the islands, and I'll be coming to you from one of the islands if you want to go check that my schedule out for that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's move into the transits where we start off the week with Sandy's Astro-Interesting day. It is a doozy, about 5 different transits all in the same day.
I want to pause here too, because this is the start of, we live in Chicago. And so I'm hearing all these updates daily and hourly, basically, about all the National Democratic convention is headed this way. So everybody's getting in today. And they begin tomorrow. And so there's just like Susan Goodell and I did on our Patreon. Thank you, Patreon members, for watching that. But that is available on our website to see what this energy of this week and how it aligns with the one that was in Milwaukee. That was the Republican convention, and then we did slides and conversations about this week's Democratic convention. It's very interesting, and you'll hear in this day on Monday, today, if you're listening on time, that Astro-Interesting, there's a lot of squares and some oppositions. That is all that is here. Square, opposition, square, opposition, square.
Yeah, wow.
So there is this kind of intense coming from 2 different, it's something to pay attention to. In other words, it's kind of good. This information on Monday and Tuesday, and even today, is grabbing our attention, is what we're supposed to be astro-interested. Some of these are outer planets, right? These are not just the quick ones. This is Jupiter and Saturn. Mm-hmm. This is something big that could pressure a new diamond, right?
Okay.
Because there's a lot of tug and pulls.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you are interested in getting an idea of what Sandy and Susan first chatted about when it came to these presidential conventions, there is a whole hour-long webinar that they uncovered all of these things that were so interesting.
Yeah, we looked at Trump, we looked at Biden, we looked at Harris, we looked at, the candidates.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, shall we get into the transits?
Let's whippersnapper it.
So we start off Monday, August 19th, Sandy's Astro-Interesting day, Venus square Jupiter.
So this is where is the greener grass? These are the 2 benefics. Venus, she's in Virgo. This is a place of her fall. She doesn't like being in here. She's making corrections, right? She's opposite Venus, where she is adored and just gets to go with the flow. And here she really has to make choices for improving something, right? And she's then square to Jupiter. And Jupiter's like, yeah, let's do a lot of change. Let's repair a lot of situations, right? So it's kind of like, where is the greener grass, right? So it's wishing and hoping to find a smoother sail. Watch being too blank of anything, right? Jupiter wants us to do something, right? And it's in this mutable sign, and Jupiter's not happy in Gemini, right? She's also in detriment. She's not in fall, but she's in detriment. And so this is kind of where they're both looking like, hey, who is the ruler of our signs? Oh, it's the same dude. Mm-hmm. Mercury. Mm-hmm. And Mercury's retrograde, right? So there's kind of like, there's this ruler, Mercury is retrograde and combust. So, it kind of reminds us that there's our imagination, we can imagine something better because it may be hard to understand today's meaning, right? It may be overwhelming, and is this grass greener? Where is this grass greener? So watch being too much of one thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
This is being flexible. Please be flexible today.
All right. So let's move on to the next transit of Monday, Venus opposing Saturn retrograde.
Now, this isn't with reception because the placement of Saturn, even though he's retrograde, he's in Pisces where Venus likes to be, right? So she's opposing this.
Mm-hmm.
So she's receiving Saturn into her exaltation. That's how you say that. And is there a feeling of unworthiness here? You know, this reception can say, hey, make your own rules. And this is the feminine, right? This is a feminine energy of being an authority figure. So make your own rules, those that you can keep true to, right? What can you commit to? Because Saturn's like, oh, are you really going to do that? So really listen. And again, here we are at the convention day. Then you can stay on the plan, right? If you can make your own rule, commit to it, then you're able to stay on your own plan. Like it's kind of giving yourself a day off in advance. Like I'm going to do this. I don't have to start it today, but this is what I'm going to do. Or give service to others if you have to work, right? It's because it's Piscean energy. Like, what can I do for you?
Mm-hmm. And then the next transit is Sun square Uranus.
So here's another square. So this is Sun in Leo, the king or queen or the authority figure, the person in charge. And when we look at this in a mundane chart, meaning world events, the sun represents the leader of a country or the king, right? Or the president. And so it's square Uranus. And so the square says, separate yourself, right? It kind of reminds me of one of Hercules's 12 labors, where he had to separate all of the different types of seeds, right? And he had to be done with it by the morning. But he called in his buddies, his ants, literally the little ants on the ground.
Right.
And he had them all move them into their separate piles. So it's kind of reminds me of separate yourself from the conventional world or this conventional environment. Uranus is progressive.
And distinguish yourself.
Yeah, distinguish yourself. Make a claim. Again, stand alone. There's more space for you, right? It's a place less crowded. By standing in a square of, hey, my individual needs and persona is important to me, right? So, right, this is like a big day for this. And now at the time, we didn't, when Susan and I ran and did all the work, President Biden was still in the ticket, on the ticket. He was still running.
Right, on the ballot.
On the ballot. And so here now, when we're like, what is this? There's like a push and pull with taffy, right? And now we're like, oh, as soon as we got that new news and that surprise energy, we're like, that's it. It's the switcheroo. It's the change.
And I think you and Susan had mentioned, like, is there somebody that's going to step up to the plate?
Oh, I did. I've been saying that since the beginning of the year.
Right.
But it's kind of, right, stand up, right? Be your own leader and look at different ways people can run a country. And we've got lots of leaders changing around in the world. Right.
Yeah. And the second to the last transit on Monday is the full moon at 27 degrees of Aquarius.
This is at 1:26 p.m. in Chicago time. And this I call leaning to the side. And again, when we think about a full moon, we have to say the sun is in Leo, where he likes to be. And the opposition of the moon is in the other side, right? Because we got a full lit moon. And this is in Aquarius, opposite of Leo. And so the moon in Aquarius is about the people. That's the water bearer, giving that we all have the freedom and the individual placement that we are each individually important here as a humanity to all get what we need and require to live, like fresh water.
Right.
And so that square that we were just talking, remember we said a couple hours earlier, that sun is squaring Uranus. Well, now the moon is in a position to square Uranus. So now we got a T-square. We got that opposition of sun, moon, full moon, and squaring Uranus, exactly at 27 degrees. This is an exact. And Uranus is within just a few degrees of Algol still. So, expect difficulties. If you're trying to stay firm, stubborn, or the same as always, you will have difficulties. Need change.
Mm-hmm.
This is universal. A new leader needs to come in that wants everyone to be successful, not just the leader.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is that so? It's lean to the side. Which side are you leaning? Because this is a big week to understand which way are you going.
Mm-hmm.
If we're talking about the politics, because this is this day. This is this day. And we're not even done with this day.
Right.
We're just a little bit afternoon.
Right. There's still one more transit, which is Jupiter square Saturn retrograde.
Okay.
Another square.
So Jupiter, and this is with reception. And when I say that again, Saturn is in Pisces, and what rules Pisces is Jupiter. Venus is exalted in Pisces, but Jupiter is domicile ruler of Pisces. So here this week are the two benefic planets making the square with reception to Saturn. Mm-hmm. And this is the first of three, because Jupiter will begin to retrograde in early October at 21 degrees, and this is happening at 17 degrees. So make note of this. Please write down in your calendar on this day, the 19th, what is happening for you. It's not always that these two superior planets, we have two superior planets, Jupiter and Saturn. Mm-hmm. It's not, they square each other for 2 years every 12 years. So once a year in a 6-year period, right? Mm-hmm. So every 6 years, these two guys square each other.
Right.
And this time, Saturn is in Pisces with Venus coming in and going, okay, are you under pressure to succeed? There's kind of this underprivileged, being maybe inadequate. What do we need to look at? Who needs help, right?
Right.
Because this is kind of perfect to look at that, because you have time to adjust these knobs, right? Use that optimistic turn of events that you need to initiate. Turn away from the wrong people. You don't need to assess who these right ones are. You can go solo or go alone, but you're just turning away from the wrong people. Like I said, you don't have to know the right way or you're just angling away from where you no longer want to be. Mm-hmm. This is societal. This is massive. This is when we say that these are superior planets. When I was learning astrology, it's like superior planets. How am I going to, what do they do? They're societal, superior S, society S. So it was like, oh, that's my combination. So these are society are now at kind of can be odds. So there is this like real like pressure to make a pearl, right? Right. So interesting, because I did some research in advance. So the second time they come together is in a square is December 24th. So right, Christmas-ish at 13 degrees. And then the last time they come together is June 15th. And at 1 degree of the cardinal placements. So this again is the world point. So what is going on now this week that will have
some cyclical type of
repercussions,
movement, right?
Or a renew or a societal new law? Saturn's law. Saturn and Jupiter are justice. What are the laws of the land? And so it's like really interesting what we do. So it's really important to listen. Mm-hmm. This, I can't say this day is, I didn't really look at it. I need to do that for next year. I was like, of all the days of the year, this week, this day, Monday the 19th. And when I was writing all this, it was like, yeah, I didn't know, like they didn't have it even scheduled yet. and if they did, I didn't know about it,
Mm-hmm.
this national convention. So I can't press, and all we can do, vote.
Mm-hmm.
Vote.
Right.
Or get on the boat.
So, yeah, big Monday. Big Monday. So let's move on to the next transit, which is Thursday, August 22nd. Sun ingress Virgo. It is officially Virgo season at 9:55 a.m. Central.
Yeah, make the most of this. Allow and permit yourself to get yourself together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like pull all the pieces back together.
Yeah.
Kind of like,
you might have to.
Right? Like, I'm doing a lot of mythology in Egypt. I mean, I can't, I got lots of stuff going on in my head. This kind of reminds me of, Isis and Osiris, right? When Seth cut up his brother, Osiris, Isis had to collect all of his pieces to put him back together. So it kind of reminds me, allow and permit yourself to get yourself together. Find all your frays, weave them back or cut them off. Just tidy up those rugs where you put some stuff under. Let's organize. Let's get those little, those little fringes on some rugs.
Yeah, right.
Right. And it's like they're all over the place. Sometimes you just need to cut them off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So that's Thursday. We have one more transit, which is Venus square Mars.
So, these two square up often, not often, but, a couple twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
But again, Venus is in Virgo, ruled by Mercury. Mars is in Gemini, ruled by Mercury. So where is Mercury? Well, he's still retrograde. He's not combust, but he's not on board. He's not helping his brothers and sisters to get ahead. So he's kind of like standing like still. He's not using his hands to, how we say sometimes it's like we go on a first date. It's like, sit on your hands. Don't, when the check comes, sit on your hands, ladies. Let you've heard that, right?
Well, sit on your hands, and it's mainly in school, don't.
Oh, nobody told me that in school.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like, don't touch your neighbor. Don't be distracting. Don't just sit in place and be quiet.
Oh, I always heard it as like when you're on a first date and somebody, a gentleman invited you out to a dinner or something, and then the bill comes, and that typically, we would go ahead and reach for our purse because either we're going to go Dutch, which means pay half, and somebody was saying, nope, ladies, sit on your hands. Sit on your hands when the bill comes.
Yeah.
In other words, don't do anything.
Right. So
I don't know if that's still a rule, but
with, and with this Virgo season, getting organized, being in that, productive state of having things in place and knowing what is good, what is bad, what is, white, black, right, wrong, whatever it is. I have a meditation for you at the end of this episode. So, all right. So the final transit of this week is Mercury retrograde sextile Mars. At least we're ending
with
the week with a sextile.
And sextiles are opportunities. And this is the second of 3 passes. They've already hit once, and this was June 21st, the very first time, which interesting was the time that you and I drove to a funeral, right? When your grandmother, not my mother, passed away. And so here we are to rethink direction. It's a good opportunity to recalibrate your pointer. It's like your GPS system needs an update or an upgrade. And if we think about this, how hilarious is that now that I bring this up? Friday the 23rd, what are we doing?
We are driving
to Cincinnati.
Well,
to close
in between.
Close enough to my brother's farm in Indiana, which we're camping. He's having a massive party that he does usually every year, but this one's a big band coming. So I think we've talked about that before. But the third pass of these two people, the Mercury and the Mars, is on September 11th. So that's just really good timing for anybody that is going to Greece on this retreat, because for me, it'll be like, yep, I'm packed, everything's organized, and we are just now have to roll these bags out of the house into the car, and Mercury, sextile Mars, get going.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of like stacks of things right now, right? All over the sanctuary here.
Getting prepared.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's move into talisman times, where Sandy has 2 upcoming talismans for us, both on Thursday, August 22nd. And the first is to rise daily with hope and optimism.
Yeah, this is the last degree of the sun in Leo coming up over the horizon. The moon and Jupiter are making a really nice aspect. My vibrant confidence rises with me when the sun appears upon my horizon. My expanding stretch and inhale awakens all my cells to provide me my daily bread.
Mm.
This was when I was writing this and I went into my meditation, this was like, I just described what I saw, right? It's kind of like this, oh yeah, it's a good day today. I'm taking a deep breath and I have everything for me to provide my daily bread, even if we're not eating bread.
Right. Gluten-free bread.
I love this one.
Yeah.
So this is the final degree. The next one I'm going to talk about is also the final degree of the sun in Leo. So we're not going to be able to get a sun talisman in the books or in the can or in the oven or on the site until we get to Aries season. And that's not until late March, early April. So, and the second one you want to introduce?
Yes. The second upcoming talisman, to strengthen my body and health. I might need to borrow this one for a little minute.
So this is with, and we don't get this every year when the sun is at 29 degrees of Leo coming up exactly on Regulus. Now, and we're getting it this year. So it's super early in the morning. I mean, super early. The sun's coming up. So it's right around 6 a.m. But this is a strengthening body and health. So these sell fast. So if anybody's listening and wants a health talisman, they don't stay on my website too long, because it's not always a time to get a health, body, vitality, strength. So this one won't last long, I don't think. So grab it if you're hearing it in pre-sale. It is on the website right now. But listen to this. To strengthen my body and health. This is Regulus, and this is one of the massive Persian fixed stars. Just as the rise of the Nile waters, I am gifted and blessed with nurturing and life-giving waters from the heart of the lion. My vitality returns. So, right, you hear me about the Nile when Sirius would come up, which is right near Regulus, when Sirius would start coming up over the horizon, that the heart of the lion is when the inundation of the Nile came, and they were all promised a return of this beautiful silt waters that give, nurture to their agriculture.
Nourishment. Yeah. Okay, so then also the August talisman of the month is to be self-aware. I easily radiate energy, self-confidence, and a favorable demeanor. I am noticed as I take my daily approach to my center stage. And this is like the swan song of Leo season happening this week. If that talisman strikes a chord with you, remember it is available on the website. All you have to do is head over to the pre-sale talismans or the talisman of the month section, and you'll see it there. On the horizon, we did mention earlier in the podcast our astrology webinar all about the 2024 political conventions. You can either watch that as a member on our Patreon as a complimentary bonus, or if you want to, you can purchase it now on our website and stream it immediately once you grab it. So it is really interesting information, and all of this is happening right now, especially with the Democratic convention happening this week. So looking forward, we have our September astrology forecast and cheat sheet. Of course, this is going to be for free for any members that are on our Patreon community page. And this is going live August 25th. So get in line, join in as a member for our Patreon community, and you'll receive it complimentary. Also, we have an upcoming astrology webinar with Sandy and Susan with the eclipses of 2024. They're going to give us what we need to understand about this and the easy information that two astrologers can provide. September 11. And of course, sign up, become a member on Patreon, and you'll receive that. We have our Egypt retreat. There is one spot left for October 9th through the 19th. If you are interested, make sure to click on those links, check it out, and book a retreat call with Sandy if you have questions, or book your seat right away.
Yeah, we're all booked on everything we need. So to add one person is a possibility. So are you that one person?
Mm-hmm. Also, January 4th through the 11th in 2025, we have our Mexico retreat where Sandy is teaching the basics of astrology and Christine Flowers is teaching the basics of human design and how they intersect. It's going to be very interesting. We would love to have you there. Click on that link. There's more information. You get pictures of where these beautiful palapas are, where these beautiful views happen, the pool, the jacuzzi, the restaurant, all amazing, fresh, local foods. It is a really wonderful way to start your new year.
It is the one retreat for really retreat.
Relaxing.
There's one day we walk down the street to do something.
Right.
And other than that, we stay right on the property, right in the water, right on the water, right in our rooms. We're in a sacred location. Egypt, lots of movement.
Lots of movement. Right.
Lots of I think there's the longest time we're planted where we get to open up our suitcases and kind of, put our butt in the bed is 3 nights. And that's the longest we're staying in one place.
And I think that's on a boat.
Mile. Yeah, it's Dahaba. It's the Dahaba.
Right. So you're kind of staying put, but you're staying put on a boat as you're moving.
True.
So, all right. So if you are interested in joining us for any of these retreats and you have a few questions, make sure to sign up for your free 15-minute call with Sandy to ask whatever questions, get some more information, and see if these retreats are right for you. So without further ado, let's jump into our house. I have it's an active meditation. So this meditation is one where you can really get your Virgo juices flowing and start organizing, even if it is only 10 minutes.
In a moment, we will begin an active meditation to embody this Virgoan energy. To begin, find a place close to you that needs your attention, critical eye, and active service. Something small that could greatly use a few minutes of your time. Whether it's organizing the top of your desk, a drawer that's been neglected, some laundry that's waiting for folding, or something else you can find that is related to organization, health, or service. Take this moment to get into position, or pause the episode here if you need to. Let's begin. Many years ago, one of my teachers taught me that we can make sacred any act, even something as unglamorous as cleaning a toilet. When we do the undesirable, unpleasant, and thankless tasks, especially with an intention, we are living fully. The lessons we can learn are endless, but first, we can learn that whatever we do, when we do it wholeheartedly, to the best of our ability, investing our intentions and attention fully, we give the task, as well as ourselves, importance, respect, and reverence. Secondly, throughout the task, we are practicing mindfulness, focusing on the present moment, and the task at hand allows us to feel what it's like to be fully present, making it easier to sharpen our minds, create more peace, and ultimately live a fully present life. So whatever the task is that you have chosen to work on in this moment, begin now. There is nowhere else that you need to be, nothing else you must be focused on. This task has become your meditation, and I will occasionally chime in to check in on you. As you become more present in whatever it is you are doing, explore ways that you can deepen your attention. Maybe it's in noticing the sensations of the items you touch, noticing their colors or their overall essence. Maybe in focusing, you've lost a little attention on your back and core. So think about straightening your spine, flexing your core, and pulling your shoulders back. Or notice what thoughts or memories may be tied to these items, or the ones that just creep into mind. Notice them and then let them go. If at any time you are becoming overwhelmed by the task or feel that you're running out of time, give yourself a more achievable goal or carve out more time to complete after this meditation is over by playing some uplifting music or setting a timer for yourself. When we can invest this type of attention and focus into our day, it has the ability to heighten our productivity, connection, purpose, and energy. Remember that any act can be made this sacred, and try this practice out in more areas of your life. Thank you for getting to work with me during this Virgo meditation. I welcome you to keep this heightened sense of presence and attention throughout the rest of your day. And I'll see you back here at Astrology Meditation soon.
Okay, we are done. How did it go? Maybe you're still organizing. Maybe you're like, you've got your Virgo juices flowing and you're like, I want to do this because it's going to make me feel so much better, so much cleaner, so much more organized after this. Go do you. That's awesome.
Well, you know what I'm going to do?
What are you going to do?
I got this idea because I just finished my last mandala in my coloring book, which, there's a lot of them and they're intricate. And so I'm going to buy a new coloring book.
Nice.
A brand new
within
fresh
the lines.
one.
Stay within the lines, please, says Virgo. So anyway, thank you everybody for listening in to another episode here on Astrological Intentions. We appreciate you. Remember, give us those 5-star reviews, share this podcast with your family and friends, and we will see you all next week, everybody. Bye-bye.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the